which has been built, I think, and pre-planned and done for political reason as well. When this climate subsides, people will begin to see the sense of it. And one day when, God forbid, somebody is arrested under this law for completely distorted version of it, and that person happens to be from more conservative side of politics, then I think the penny will drop.
Shabana, do you think that the death of your father will make it more difficult for people to campaign against this law? I mean, we're seeing so many threats against people like Sherry Rehman who try to get this law changed.
There were previous attempts too. In 2005, Musharraf tried to water down the law as well, and you know, he gave in to right-wing pressure. I think that my father's assassination has definitely left, I mean, there's an atmosphere of fear in Pakistan now, but I feel that as Pakistanis, we don't have that luxury anymore. We don't have that choice of staying silent and being scared. I think that it's, you know, the buck stops here, and you know, we have to think about where we want Pakistan to go from now, and if we're going to just hand it over to the extremists so easily by being scared and staying silent.
Amjad Waheed, is it likely that this law and the murder of Salman Taseer will polarize Pakistani society, will create bigger divisions, especially between conservatives, the religious conservatives on the one side, and liberals on the other?
I think it's the wrong projection of this issue. There is no split in Pakistani masses. This is just a projection of a few. Only a few scholars are projecting this issue in this way. There is no split of liberals and conservatives in Pakistan. It is against the temperament of the Pakistani to fix them into a formulated phrase. The phrase like liberal or phrase like secular, it isn't possible here in Pakistan, because Pakistan is a place, it is a meeting point of so many cultures, and it is also the departure point of so many cultures. It was a Buddhist dominated area before the advent of the Arabs. Then Arab came. After the Arabs, Turks came here. Then we have the invasion of the British regime here. Then the return of the British. That was a departure of a culture from this area. All the cultures, all the religions have their influences on this land, and in such a land it isn't possible to fix someone in a formulated phrase.
Okay, Shabana, I'm going to give you the last word on this. We've just heard there that there are no divisions in Pakistan, that it's against, as Amjad Waheed told us, against the temperament of the Pakistani people.
I mean, as there would be in any society, in any country, there are quite obviously divisions. But I think that it's not just so black and white as people have portrayed it to be. You know, it's not just a few versus these 50,000 extremists who take to the streets and things, because, you know, it was about 40,000 of them at a rally in a city of 17 million. So I think that there are a lot of moderates in Pakistan. But I feel, like I've said already, that there's an atmosphere of fear. So it's stopped a lot of these people from speaking out.
Okay, we still have a minute left. Let me go to Asma Jahinga. Asma Jahinga, what is the way forward from here?
Well, first of all, I think that, you know, we have to address this issue more seriously in an atmosphere where people begin to sit back and look at it in the sense of protecting people. Secondly, it is not just this law. There's a larger issue here. We have become like rat heads. Do you know that in our country, people used to take their children to a saint and they used to put an iron cap on their heads so that it just didn't grow. We need to take that iron cap off, and we need to breathe, not ourselves, but let our minds breathe as well. And so we need to go forward. We need to go forward, and with the idea of giving people justice, with the idea of non-discrimination, with the idea also that those sections of society that incite people to violence must be brought to book. And this is what our government has not done so far.
Okay, that's where we're going to have to leave it. Thanks to all of you for being with us. And thank you for watching the show. Remember, you can follow the show on Facebook and see what we're up to there. You can give us your feedback on the show and post your questions and comments. From me and the team in Washington, D.C., see you next time.
Business Latest is brought to you by Qatar Gas, delivering energy to the world. Business Latest is brought to you by Qatar Gas, delivering energy to the world.
Trust Toshiba to create another stroke of genius with the Portage R700, a masterpiece that's incredibly thin, light, and complete. Trust Toshiba.
From local traders to international finance, it's commerce that makes the world go round. For global companies and developing markets, communication is the currency, and information is the most valuable commodity. Counting the cost at this time on Al Jazeera.
All the news, all the time. AlJazeera.net/English.
Crack addicts, thieves, violent offenders, doing time in Tehran's Youth Correctional Center. Victims of Iran's epidemic of addiction, poverty, and broken homes. A lost generation find friendship, support, and a place to be children again. It's always late for freedom. A witness special at this time on Al Jazeera.
This is Al Jazeera.
Good to have you with us. Warm welcome to this news hour with me, David Foster, and from Al Jazeera's news centres here in Doha and London. These are the top stories. Reports of live firing again in Bahrain as funerals are held for the victims of the crackdown on anti-government protesters. Reports of mass rallies in Libya's east, but supporters of Muammar Gaddafi are vowing to put down dissent. A day of prayer and celebration. Egyptians celebrate the fall of Hosni Mubarak.
I'm Stephen Cohen.